But sell-through rate, how I do it, I just take sold divided by listed times 100, and I use this little chart here that I created. There's a low and the average, the high, and the very highs. Welcome to some postcards. Today I got an agenda right here I put up every time, but we usually do 4 things during these videos on Mondays. They're a little longer than the normal ones you see every day, the shorts and stuff like that, or special things. But every Monday, between 9 and 10 a.m. Central Time, I put out a video that's a little longer, about an hour, 50 minutes or so, and I have an agenda down here. Normally we go through what's sold, so like what's sold overnight on eBay, just to talk about the cards, what's selling, what's not selling, and then we get into a deep dive. And today it's going to be Miami Beach postcards. I've been to Miami maybe twice, did work there, and one time I went to a resort for some kind of event I was speaking at or something like that, but I didn't get to spend a lot of time in Miami. I have sold some cards from the Miami Beach area, and I'll talk about those, but I'm going to show you the pricing, the sell-through rate, and some history about Miami Beach, so it gets your curiosity up, so when you see those cards you'll have a little bit more knowledge what to do with those. Then I always try to throw a poll or some kind of data or something in after that. Then today I put a poll out on Saturdays, and you just pick, you know, 1, 2, or 3. This one was, do you offer free returns, yes or no? We'll talk about that and what I do and what I think the options you have. And then I throw in some viewer comments that come in from email, YouTube. If you put them on YouTube, they're basically public. If you send them to me an email at contact@SMPostcards.com, I treat them more privately. If I do pull a little sentence out, I won't use the name. But if you want me, allow me to use it on the video, just let me know or I'll ask you. So again, that's contact@SMPostcards.com if you got any questions. But don't feel free to comment in the video down at the bottom, get a conversation going. If you got questions, there's a lot of people in here that can answer your questions, been through what you have, or your question might spark something with them to ask more questions. I have questions all the time. I don't know everything about selling postcards, and I get good advice from a lot of different people, and I take what I can and do what I can. But let's go ahead and get started on what's sold. Sold 16 cards. A little bit better day of the week for that. The first one was not a postcard, it was a photo. If you watched the channel before, you know I got a lot of these ship photos. This is the Hornet, USS Hornet CV-12, around 1960 it says. It's on photographic paper, so it has a curl, and it has all the information on the back, whoever cataloged it, so it was real easy to list these, and these things go through the scanner great. Now when you put photos, real photo postcards through your scanner, now remember the scanners that most people use for postcards are the Epson 400, Epson 580W, or like the ScanSnap Fujitsu's. Those are document scanners, not the photo scanners. The Epson series of photo scanners starts with a 6, I think, but they're more expensive. So when you put a photograph or a real photo postcard into one of those scanners without setting the correct settings, it'll look all black and white, like a negative sometimes and stuff. If you go into the Ko-Fi store, Ko-Fi is a little spin-off of this channel where I have stuff for resellers at a very good price and a discount if you're a member. You can get up to 40% off if you're a white border or divided back member. So say a pack of sleeves costs $3.75 retail in the store, you're a member, you can have for $2.25 a pack plus shipping. And it's just a little bit over my cost to pay for the fees, my time, and stuff like that. I'm not looking to make a lot of money. It's to help resellers get off the ground. But if you want those settings, I have them in there for free. You can download the document. Say you go out and buy a 400 or a 580W Epson, you can go in there and download that PDF and be up and running in minutes. And they're the same settings I've used forever. Only had one person, the reds were really hot for him, but I didn't see what he was seeing, and I think there might be something wrong with the scanner. But so far I haven't changed anything when I put those up there, and it walks you right through every setting page and how to put a border around it too. So get a 580W, the wireless has LCD screen, the hopper's a lot better, but also the 400s, you can get them pretty cheap on the internet and eBay. I'm starting to see those are the workhorses. But that was the Hornet, and that sold for $5.85. Next one is a church, or the Mormon Temple, Kirtland, Ohio, Lake County. Vertical card, just a chrome card, not posted, of the Mormon Temple in Kirtland, Ohio. $4.75. I sold a dyno. Dr. Chris is like this. This is Chicago Natural History Museum, the Field Museum, and it's a Stegosaurus, Chris. I think that's what that is. Tell me if I'm right. Sold for $4.75. Doesn't sell like those other dinosaurs did, but I got $4.75 for that one. This is the City Hall in Escondido, California. Just a chrome card of a municipal building. Unposted, $4.75. Next one sold for $7.55, and I have no reason why I priced it at that. And that's been in there a year or so. The Old Mill, Popolipin Creek, Bear Mountain Park, New York. It's hand colored, it said, but I got $7.55 for that one. I must have comped it and come up with something. I don't remember it at all. But $7.55 for a landscape postcard. Not too bad. Then this is some kind of totem. The Treasure Islander. As seen on Treasure Island, passenger boat docking at St. Agnes. I don't remember this one either. Chrome card, $4.75. Next person bought 2 cards. This is the Cavalier Hotel from Sunken Gardens, Virginia Beach. We're talking about Miami Beach. Now this is Virginia Beach. A linen card, unposted. Got that one. And then the same view, but a white border card of the Cavalier Hotel on there. Now remember, white borders have a very unique time frame, 1915 to 1930. Probably one of the most elusive requirements for postcards out there. Remember, everything in postcards is crossover. You could have a mechanical postcard, they call it a novelty postcard. Pick what you want to do on there. But white border is 1915 and 1930. And how do I find that? In the Ko-Fi store also, I have these little cards, or you can download and print this out for free. And it also has the stamp boxes, the most ones I see on there. And you can download. So if you want a card like this, I just put it in a top loader so I can flip it back and forth. But it gives you all the basic eras. The Pioneer, the private mailing card, undivided back, divided back, white border, linen, and chrome. Because I can't remember the years, and I can't remember all the stamp boxes. But white borders have a smooth thing on there. I gotta feel them a lot if they're linen. You can see the linen if they got waffle texture, you can feel it. But this is a white border, and you can, after you get going, you can pretty well tell. Now it also depends on what's in the stamp box sometimes too, makes it a divided back. Even though it looks like a white border, it could be a divided back. You make the best judgment you can make with what you got. I wouldn't spend a lot of time. Try to get it where it needs to be, and that's it. Both these cards sold for $9.50. Next person bought 2 Navy cards. You know I have a lot of Navy ships, thousands of them. These were total 2 cards with $9.03. This is the USS Independence, my last one. This is the Strike Force Group, I think, in there. And there's some aircraft overhead, they said, in that one. And then this is the Missouri, USS Missouri, BB-63. I think it's a battleship. And it has guys going on the boat. So both of those together, $9.03. Must have sent out an offer or something on them. Next one is Looking North from Monument, Indianapolis. Linen card. That's that Sailor's Monument or whatever. Now when you get these prices on the cards, I don't take those off. I just leave them on there. It's the history of the card. You end up smudging, making a mess of it, and I'm not good at it. There's no reason. It's not my prices. No one's ever questioning on it or anything like that. It doesn't make a difference on there. Next person bought 2 cards, Navy ships again. This is the USS Nassau. It's a amphibious assault ship. It's an unposted chrome card. And then this is USS El Paso, amphibious cargo ship. So this person bought 2 of those for $9.60. Next one's another Navy ship. It's the CQ Bark Eagle. It's a Coast Guard ship with sails. This is a bigger card. It's a little, I think it's a little bigger than a Continental on there, but it's a heavy card stock, very well done. I've sold a lot of these, and I sold for $4.75. And these damn postcards. Norris Dam, Clinch River, damn postcards do sell. This is a linen card, and I can see the waffle texture, and I don't know if you can see it, but I can also feel it. It's not a white border divided back. You can see the heavier red count, and the reason they did that because you get more vibrant colors, and in the ink, then they can use more vibrant colors because the paper had more red count and the ink dried faster without smearing and running. But this damn postcard sold for $4.75. And the last one that came in was a Rose Garden, Jacob L. Loose Park, Kansas City, Missouri. Rose Garden. And this one also is a linen. It's really kind of smooth, but I can see the waffle texture on it. And you want to get to know what those are. How to tell the difference. Do I get them right every time? Pretty much. But there's sometimes you just got to pick. Like some of the unpressed paper from the older days. Is it a divided back? Is it a linen? Sometimes you just got to go with your gut. And if you see people, some collectors can get stupid about it and really pin you down. But most of the time people don't talk too much about errors. Back in the day when eBay allowed you to put different things in categories and did some things, it was more important, I think. But most people are going after the subject of the card, and they know the undivided back and stuff like that. I have more people ask me if it's a linen card or a chrome card. That's probably who I get the most, but not as much anymore. But what's the total? Sold 16 cards. I want to do 16. Met my goal. Finally, one day this week. I want to do $80 a day average for the year. I did $85.55, so I met that goal. And my ASP kind of stayed flat, $5.35, went down a little bit, but that's because I sold a lot of the chrome cards and stuff like that. Nothing really fancy except that photo for $8.55. So $5.35 is my average sale price. And remember, my niche is divided back down to chrome and current. So I'm not going to have a $15 to $20, $30 average sale price. I'm not looking for that. Mine are going to be between $5 and $8 is going to be there. So I'm right there in there, and I'm happy with what I'm making. I'm not looking to be the top seller or the best one out there with the highest price and come out here and tell you I sold a $1,700 postcard or $900 postcard. Those will happen once in a while, and I'll show them to you. But that's not my normal. That's not what pays the bills. What pays the bills is these little Navy cards, boats, the Sunken Gardens, the Rose Gardens. That's what pays the bills. The other one's gravy on top. If you look for the average cards divided back to chrome, you're going to find some of the better real photos and stuff in the boxes as you hunt, because you're going to become more aware of postcards as you get into them. You're going to say, wow, I'm starting to see these things all over the place. Or people start telling you, hey, I got a collection, you want to buy it? Stuff like that. Watching this channel should help you learn how to buy, source, sell, pack, ship postcards and what they are and what different things is. And starting out is the hardest, but once it gets up to the top, you just keep growing. Every time I do one of these videos, I learn something new. More than one thing on there. That's what's sold. Now we're going to get into Miami Beach postcards. What pictures in my mind is, yeah, I've sold them, but I think it's more the hotels. Is it Fontainebleau or something? I get mixed up with some of the beaches, but beach in the name. There are some beaches that you really want to look for. If I get a beach, Miami Beach or whatever, I throw it in the Terror Peak, Worth Point, regular eBay, or whatever. I'll throw it in there just for a quick snapshot to see if it's one of the ones in there. There's a couple beaches that just do amazing. I can never remember them, so that's why I always give them a second look on beaches when I'm doing things. Do I miss? Probably once in a while, but there's beach. If you see the word beach, check it out, is what I say. But I'm going to talk a little bit about Miami Beach. From my knowledge, I want to learn, and also I wanted to share while I do it what Miami Beach is all about and the postcards that you'll see. And while I do that, I'm going to show you some postcards I found about Miami Beach with the subject on her. Here we go. Miami Beach was founded in 1915. Started as a mangrove swamp in Barrier Island. I think that's all of Florida. Its development began with entrepreneurs like John S. Collins and Carl G. Fisher saw potential in the land. Collins built the first bridge connecting Miami to Miami Beach. So there's Miami, and then there's Miami Beach, making it accessible to further development. Fishers promoted the area very heavily, transforming it into a resort destination. During the 1920s and 1930s, Miami Beach blossomed. So that was the 1920s and 1930s, into a glamorous vacation spot for rich and famous. The iconic Art Deco architecture that defines the city was constructed during this time, giving the area's distinctive look. Hotels, nightclubs, restaurants sprang up, attracting tourists from all over the country. The city's popularity continued to grow, cementing its status as a premier tourist destination. After World War II, Miami Beach experienced a population boom. Many soldiers who had trained in Florida during the war returned with their families to settle down. The city continued to develop with more hotels, residential buildings, and cultural institutions. Today, Miami Beach is known for its vibrant culture, beautiful beaches, lively nightlife, making it a beloved destination for visitors worldwide. Miami Beach postcards are a colorful, nostalgic way to capture the city's vibrant essence, featuring iconic scenes like Art Deco buildings, sun-drenched beaches, and lively Ocean Drive. These postcards offer a glimpse into the area's rich history and tropical allure. Collectors and tourists alike treasure them as keepsakes, preserving the memories of vacations and showcasing Miami Beach's unique charm and beauty. Now I got 3 facts here about Miami Beach. Miami Beach is home to the only Everglades ecosystem in the world, making it a unique blend of urban life and wildlife. Alligators and crocodiles can be found just a short distance from bustling city streets and beaches. So they're not far away, alligators. We don't have them here in Illinois, that I know of, unless someone had a pet, they threw it in a pond. The beach sand isn't all natural. It was imported. Over the years, sand has been brought in from the Bahamas and other locations to replenish the beaches, ensuring they remain pristine and attractive to tourists. Then Miami Beach hosts an annual mermaid parade where participants dress up as mermaids, sea creatures, and other fantasy ocean-themed characters. This quirky event draws crowds who enjoy the imaginative costumes and lively atmosphere. Kind of like the Keys, they do a lot of that down there. So that's Miami Beach. There's Miami and there's Miami Beach. And just some history. Started in 1915, really boomed in 1920s, 30s, and then population growth after the war. So there's a lot of postcards out there with Miami Beach. And we're going to see how they do. And how I do that, there's 2 things I look at real quick. One is sell-through rate. Just tells me how many things are moving through the eBay ecosystem. How many cards, not pricing, what's driving through eBay. And then I do the pricing. And we'll get into that right after this. But sell-through rate, how I do it, I just take sold divided by listed times 100, and I use this little chart here that I created. There's a low, and the average, the high, and the very highs. So whatever comes out, I don't go down to the last card and stuff like that. I'm just looking for a quick shot, hit a range. Is it red, green, or dark green? Yellow. So if you take Miami Beach, and you go into eBay, and just go in there and put Postcard Miami Beach. Click the little sold, which looks completed. You get 965 sold. Uncheck that, and then you get 25,000 listed. To me, that was a little low for Florida cards. You times it by 100 to come up with the percent. You round up or down because people can't remember 99.9 or 21.2. Just round it up or down. 4%. Throw it into this range here. It's an average card, just right above the lows. 4 to 5% are just average cards to me. Easy to list. Gets my base price of $475. I can fly through them. But with Miami Beach, I will take the cards and I'll stick them in the Terra Peak, Worth Point, whatever I want. Do that at the time, just to see if there's an extra $1 or something on there. Slows down the listing a little bit, But you do, once in a while I do snag a couple of $7, $8, $12 cards on there. But most of the time they're going to be average, 4%. And that's how the ranges work. I'm not worried about, you know, the little percents, and it's not going to change my business or what I'm selling. It just tells me, yeah, I'll pick these up, but I'm not going to pay a lot for them because they're average price and they're going to sit. Now, if they were up in the very high, I'll pay a little bit more, and I know they move probably a little bit more. But if they don't, when they do move, I get a little bit more money probably for them. But if they're in the low, I see a box of cards and it has a bunch of Floridas, and there's half of it's Miami Beach. And if it was low, and these are close to it, I'm not going to pay a lot, or even pick those low ones up. If they want, you know, $100 for the whole box, I might give them 50 or 40 because I know they're going to sit. I'm not going to list some of those cards. So that's what sell-through rate can do. But also, I want to see if that 4% is real. Is there a glitch out there? So I always go out there and I try to find 3 other things close to it. So I got Miami Beach, 4%. Then Venice Beach. Right? That's all in California. That Muscle Beach thing, I don't know. Weird people out there on roller skates. 6%. Myrtle Beach, over there on the East Coast, 7%. And then South Beach, 9%. 4 to 9, most of it's in there, and it's an average card. I don't. There's no outliers here. I feel good with the 4%, 4 to 5%. So it's an average card. That's what I deduct out of the sell-through rate. But then we get into pricing. I didn't find. Usually I go up and try to find the higher extreme ones, not the real high ones or real low ones. I throw those out. They have nothing to do with my calculation. The 99-cent auctions or the higher price at one time someone sold something at real photos, they sell themselves. The lower ones I don't even deal with. There's no money there for me. So I go out there and try to find these. And I didn't. We're going to walk from high to low. I got 2, 4, 6, 8 cards I found out there sold different prices starting from like $45 down to $7. So let's go from high to low. So the first one I found was Smith's Casino Bathhouses in Miami Beach, 1920s real photo. Most of the time we see real photos, they do a lot better, right? Not every real photo is going to be above average card. Some real photos don't get any money. They don't sell. Like a people, just because it's old doesn't mean it's worth a lot of money. It really has to do with the subject of the card. And if something, history about it and stuff like that, it has to have a story about it. You know, a guy sitting on the front porch of a real photo of a cabin really doesn't do anything for me. But if he's sitting there with 2 dogs and a hunting rifle and a whole bunch of animals, beavers or something that he shot, different story. It tells a story. He's a hunter, and there's his dogs and cabin. It's from probably early 1900s. You can get more money. If he's just sitting on the porch in some overalls with a hat on, no pipe in his mouth, just sitting there, what is that worth unless you can tie it down to a place, time, or whatever? So that's what I mean about higher price things like that. But this one, $49.99, they took best offer accepted, $40, $45. Then the next one is the Waldorf Towers Hotel. These are the hotels, that's what rings in my mind with Miami Beach's. This looks like a linen card. Another best offer, probably took $30 for that, so $30, $40 on the high side. And then you get the bathing beauties at Miami Beach. Women in swimsuits always sell. This sold for $20, $30 best offer accepted, $25, so between $25 and $40. So I would say these are like $25 to $30 cards, the top ones. And then, just when you think things don't sell and it falls in my category of low and I don't do them, I end up looking at this. So just because something didn't sell and you got it in your mind, like Mount Vernon or stuff like that, sometimes you will find these outliers. This is a QSL card. It's a radio card. I did a video about QSL cards and what I thought of them. I don't know a lot about them, but people have bought boxes of these and spent their days and hours and months listening to these things and they don't sell. But then there's another guy out there in a QSL store on eBay that just sells the heck out of them. I don't do them. I don't have good luck with them. But look at this. $30 for a cat QSL card. WCAT, Cat Radio, Miami Beach. Must be something special with that. $30. But check your QSL card. Just do your homework on those. Some of the older ones, the fancier ones, the European ones, yeah, they can do a little bit better, but most are not worth my time. Nothing bad with them, I just don't do well with them. Yeah, there is something bad with them. They don't sell for me. Then 1950s Florida roadside chimney chain drive-in car hops. It's got everything you want here. Drive-in, 1950s, car hops, the whole works. Got $23.16 for it. 2 bids in an auction. Got 2 people going at it. So $20. So right now we're still looking at $20 to $30 on the high side. But then we go down a little bit. Miami Beach, Florida, Clover Superfood Center, a grocery store. Advertising. You know, when you put advertising, all these keywords in there, when they did the marketing for these postcards back then, they put everything that would sell a postcard on the card. A lot of people will see lattice fence, wooden porch, all this stuff on a postcard. But I think I'm targeting the person that wants the meat of the card. I don't think advertising vintage postcard does a lot for that, where Miami Beach, Florida, put initials or the state, and people go back and forth with that. I just write out the state. Keep it the same in my store. Clover Superfood Center postcard. It's a grocery store. People will see it, they know of it. And that's what, so when they come in and see Superfood Center, they're looking for grocery stores. They're not looking for advertising. They might be looking for ink blotters or billheads, and they'll come in and look at things and not convert. I like getting the meat of the card subject, and that's what I put on the card. I don't keyword stuff. I'm not going to spend my time on $4 to $5 cards trying to come up and be creative to sell a card. There's over 10 million postcards on eBay. If you're trying to be competitive with price, descriptions, and all that stuff, it's like a sinking ship. You're trying to bail it out with a coffee cup. They're just going to sell. Reputation has a lot to do with it and how you present it. Not the little keyword thing. That it could help, but that's not going to take you from 5 cards a day to 50 cards a day. It might get that 1 card sold, but be consistent is all I tell people, and that's all I do. So you know where to make changes. But that's a great grocery store picture right there, and they got $15 for it. And then the next one goes to $5.99. The other ones might be a little outliers. Be careful with your comping of cards. If you want to move cards, just because you see one for $50 and nothing else sold, and everything else sold at $5, I wouldn't stick it up there at $20, $30 because that one's sold. It could be their friend, it could be something else, or somebody just wanted a card. Spontaneous purchasing out there. You got to get a good average. So these cards, a lot of these cards will fall in this category here: $5.99, $4.75, $5, $5 to $8 is what I see in Miami Beaches. This one is the Bel Air Hotel. I think I remember that swimming pool. Usually swimming pools do pretty good. Dexter Press, you can put that in the item specifics. By putting the manufacturer, you're targeting that 5% of the collector market, where 95% of the people are going to buy it because of the swimming pool or the Bel Air Hotel, their vacation. So if you're just targeting collectors, that's where the manufacturers, because regular people do not even understand Dexter Press and Haynes and Kurt Tyke and stuff like that. So I put those in item specifics. Most of the time, Dexter Press, I don't even put them in there. There's so many cards out there. I don't chase down the manufacturers. That's not my market. But if you want to put it in there, that's fine. But there's also a spot for that. $5.99, $6. That's it. Then I threw this one in there because I like it. It's got aviation. It's got a Delta DC-6 heading north over Miami Beach, Florida. $8, $7.97. That's a neat card. You could do a lot with this one. And it has everything in the title. It has the airplane flying over Miami Beach, the subject of the card. Didn't say anything about water, waves, sky. All that stuff is fluff to me. I'm not going to spend my time on that, but I like this title, Postcard Delta DC-6. The plane right in front there, heading north, telling a story over Miami Beach. What is it? Where is it? Very simple. So that's how I do the listings in my head, is I don't get all the details. Just because there could be a yellow flower in there or a sun. Some people put sun and all the other stuff in the description or in the titles. They're not coming in to buy the sun. They're coming in to buy the postcard with the airplane flying over Miami Beach. That's what they're going to buy. They're going to come in, look at it, click, buy. You put a good price on it with a card like that, like here, it's going to sell. That's a good card. But what do you think of the beach postcards, like Miami Beach? Have you guys been there? Did you go back there in the early 50s, 60s? How much has it changed? And do you have any Miami Beach postcards you sold really priced that you want to send in to show and tell? Just send them to contact SMPostcards.com. I'll be putting another one together. My folder and my email is getting kind of full, so when it gets filled up some, I'll throw that in there into one of the videos. I'm about due for that. But I don't really say jump for joy when I see Miami Beach, because I know there's a little research in there. There's a few of these that will do better, but most of the time they end up being average for me, is my experience. What's your experience with that? Miami Beach. Who knew? Along with these videos, I always try to do a poll. One of the polls I put out on Saturday to talk about it, because that's what spurs conversation. When you talk about things and you can go back and forth with people. Not in a debate and I'm right, you're wrong type thing. It just starts asking questions and answering questions, different views. So sometimes it can sway you to go the way. A lot of people put their feet in the sand and say, I'm not changing, I'm doing it the best, and that's why. You got to be humble. You got to be able to bend different ways. But just because you see one person do something and they sold a couple cards that day more, I wouldn't change my whole business because of one or two, three, four things. I wait until I get a good trend, or I want to try something. I'll try it for 3 to 6 months, because I'm not going to, I get something successful working, I don't want to rock the boat, but I also want to stay on a moving trend. A lot of people, reselling's like this, up and down, and they chase those hills and valleys, and they compare themselves to others, and they get really frustrated. Just follow the trend. Find out what you need, and this postcard's going to meet those needs. Sometimes it doesn't. Me, being retired and stuff like this, part-time, this meets my need. If it changed and I needed more, I can go back to what I did before. But right now, this meets my needs. You might need more. Postcards might not be everything. You might have to do some other stuff. But when the poll comes out, this one came out and it says, do you offer free returns? And I'll give you the little spiel here from eBay in a second. Free returns is, I think there's different things. You can do free returns 30 days, 60 days, or you can, hey, buyer pays for returns 30 days, buyer pay returns 60 days. I've always, for years, done free returns. I don't care, 60 days. As far as it goes out, I back everything up I sell. I don't care. If you don't like it, if for some reason or other, just send it back. It's part of doing business. I don't get that many. I budget 3% into my budget ever since I resell for refunds, returns, and stuff like that. I don't think most years it reaches over 1%. It's below 1%. So it's not really, it's just a reverse transaction. When I did the toys and stuff like that, I knew if I sold 100 action figures, I was going to get 3 back or something like that. But the neat thing is, most people will return stuff in the first week they get it or so, 30 days. After that, it's pretty well. They won't get it because the credit card, they can see it on the phone immediately now, or they get the bill at the end of the month and they say, the wife sees it, what did you buy, a $75 action figure? You need to send that back. But it usually goes like Christmas time when I sold a lot of the toys. June 1st, 180 days later, because they can do chargebacks on credit cards up to 180 days. June 1st was basically done. But most of the returns came in from the holidays, usually the first 2 weeks of January, and by the end of January, it all fizzled out. But I didn't get many. And when they did come in, I would just throw them in the corner of the fish room, and I get about 10, 12 boxes over there. I never open them when they send them back and stuff like that. It just, it is what it is. And then I would take them to the flea market, relist them, whatever. So I don't get many of them. So, but free returns hasn't changed for me forever. Now, if you're doing shipping, say you're shipping some doll or something, a piece of something you sold, say it's $50. and it's going to cost you $15 to ship it. If you do free shipping and then they want to return it for a refund, you have to give them everything back, the total shipping, because it's all tied up in one. You can't split it up. But if you do the $50 item and $15 shipping separate, if it's a remorse return, you can just give them back the item cost and not the original shipping, if that allows you in there. But most people said, do you offer free returns? 74% said yes. 24% said no. 1% said other. This is a $5 postcard. It's not gonna, if that's gonna break my business, I'm doing something wrong. I'm not worried about it, but I don't get many. Again, I don't get many. So I don't worry about that. If I was getting a lot more returns, a lot more stuff, and it was costing me more money and stuff, I would be more aggressive. My prices would go up for one thing, and I would be more aggressive. But I don't have to be aggressive on it because it's not a percentage of my expenses. But I got some comments from people. But before that, I wanted to talk about one thing eBay says is, even if you specify no returns accepted, under the eBay money back guarantee, the buyer can still return an item if it doesn't match the listing description. As you'll see here, one of the things is I don't accept returns. No returns accepted. You can't override eBay's policy. That right there at the bottom here came from eBay on the help page. Just go in there and type free returns in the help on eBay, and you can read all about returns. A lot of people say, I don't accept returns. Yes, you do. Lost or damaged, an item not described, you're going to be forced by eBay, if you want to sell on their site, to refund the money. How you do that, you can send them a label and they can ship it back, you pay the shipping back. How you do that is fine, but you will accept returns. But Lisa came in and said, the shipping cost is so low, why would you make them pay? You want repeat customers, so I say make them happy. Yeah. If it's a higher price postcard, my lunchbox, my Magna books, that's a different story, and that has a different shipping policy. But regular $4 to $5 postcards, I don't really bother asking for returns and stuff like that. I just make it simple for them. And then MC postcards, I don't accept returns, but if the customer's not happy, I just refund them. You don't accept returns, but if they're not happy, so I was confused there at first, but I think I understand what you're saying there. If the customer comes and says the card's not as described and stuff like that, you still take care of your customer. But not accepting returns, if I see that in a listing, I don't buy. If I'm looking for something special and there's 4 listings out there I can buy it from, and I see all this garbage in there and don't returns, all this garbage in the description, I don't buy from that buyer because I don't want the headache. I don't want to fight with them. I don't want the conversations. I can go out to Amazon, just buy something, get it back. If it isn't what I wanted, I just return the item. No questions asked. Do I do it a lot? No. But when I was building my computer, I had one part that was dead on arrival. I just went back, got my money back, brought it over to the Amazon Staples, dropped it in the box with the lady, went over to Best Buy and bought what I needed. No questions asked. I was going to buy some computer parts on eBay, but after looking at the descriptions and the shipping times and all this stuff about don't accept returns, you got to do this by a certain time, this whole thing, descriptions and stuff like that, I just said no. I just go to the easier place. So I think that's where you got to make it easy to do that with returns. So do you guys get a lot of returns on postcards? I don't. Let me know in the comments. But that's the poll. Fewer comments come in from email, YouTube. Now if you put them in eBay, very rarely will I respond in eBay. I've been spanked twice by eBay putting things in comments that I can't respond the way I want to, that I can do on YouTube or email. So please don't send a message in eBay, and you probably won't get a response on there. The comments I got here, I got 3 of them. This is from Cyber Dan. I never heard of these wacky things. That's the wacky packages, that video I did about the stickers. Remember, when you're doing postcards, you're going to find other ephemera. You're going to find trade cards. Instead of fighting, why is that in the box? This should be postcards. use it. If you can sell the cards and they fit in your box and sleeves, figure out if something you can sell. And that's what I did over time, is trade cards. I got Happy Days cards, Partridge Family, Elvis, Battlestar Galactica, movie trade cards, wacky stickers, garbage pail kids. I got them in the boxes. They come in the box with postcards most of the time, or I bought lots at the auction. And I was in high school when they came out. Lucky me, I guess. Before I moved up to where I'm at now, I would hit 30 to 40 yard sales every Saturday, and don't think I saw them there either. But then I was not looking for them. I know I want to see them where I live now, or I know I won't see them where I live now. If I'm lucky, there might be 3 to 4 yard sales on a Saturday, but I will keep my eyes out for them. Exactly what I said. These videos will get your curiosity up and see something you have never seen, or you've seen it but you just don't look for it. Now, Dan, you're going to become more aware. You're going to start seeing these things all over, and that's what happens. But that's what these videos can do, on all these deep dives and stuff about different things. It's just open to your eyes. I go to auctions and I see stuff and I talk to the older guys. I go, what is this thing? Well, that's a apple core and stuff like that. I try to educate myself on stuff like that. Would I buy an apple core? Probably not. But at least I know what it is now, and I can sound smart. But thanks, Dan. Then Grammy's Miniatures. This is talking about the video I did about the AI description. I did examples and why I don't use it. I don't think they're that great. But the AI, Grammy says the AI description includes specifics. I heard the search engine pulls it from description, so I use it and tweak it. It's whatever you want to do. I tell people, spend the time doing. I don't think there's that much reward by putting that stuff in the description right now. I don't think it's good enough, and it's just pulling from item descriptions and or item specifics, and you can see in item specifics how many searches were on there in little parentheses on the side. So if you already have it in item specifics, there's really no reason to put it in description. It's already pulling it from the main place, and it's just adding to your listing time. I don't think there's enough reward to do those types of things for postcards. Thanks, Grammy. Then Linda says, every Thursday I put out a quiz. It's just a question. YouTube, you can do quizzes. So I just went through a book or information terms I got, and I just created quizzes. Went down things, and they're just not out of my head. These came from an actual thing, and I can cite them if someone says something's wrong. And I've had a few people say, well, this isn't that. It's crossover on there and stuff like that. And I can cite the book, and I have in the past. I just pull it out to help people understand. You can do more homework on them and like that. But all of this has come from documented things that I can cite on there. It's just not my knowledge. So the quizzes come out, and you can pick what is just real easy. It's kind of fun to do and learning things. Especially if you're just starting out, they can really help. And they're in the community tab, so you can go look at them all. But almost all of these pop quiz questions from SM Postcards can be answered by being a subscriber and viewing of their videos. Thanks, SM Postcards. Thank you, Linda. Yeah, most of the stuff you can find in a video now. If you binge the videos and look through them and stuff like that, you can pretty well see. A lot of the quizzes and stuff have those answers. Might be some obscure ones out there that I pulled. But by doing the quizzes has helped me amazingly. By putting them together, I learned so much and reinforced what I know. So check those out. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I think it's right down here in the corner. Just click on that, hit yes. It's the best free thing you can do for the channel. YouTube sees it, gets it out to more people, and also you'll be notified most of the time with YouTube when things like that come out. But Tuesdays we do Sal Has a Joke, a dad joke. He puts a little joke out there for you. And then Thursday is the quiz. These all come out about 9 to 10 a.m. Central Time. And then Saturday is the poll that I put out. Sunday is what's coming soon in the next 2 weeks for videos. And then it leaves free Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for me to stick stuff out there if I want to, on stuff like that. So that if you're subscribed, you get to see those little things. It keeps you interested, gives you your postcard fix for today. And then every day I pull snippets out of videos and I do a short. I just put it out there. It tells what video it's in at the bottom of the short. So if you hear you feel interested, I'd say something about car postcards or something, and you're interested, you can go to that video at the bottom, click and save it and watch it later and stuff like that. So I try to keep everybody busy with the stuff, and sell those too. Miami Beach postcards. Let me know if you sold any of those and stuff like that. What other beaches do you guys know of? Put it in the comments if there's any other good beaches. I'd love to get a list of those and put them in the Sell-To-Rate document. I'll be doing it the first of the year. Any other beach. I got Myrtle Beach, Virginia Beach, Rehoboth Beach, Venice Beach. You know, there's probably a whole list of them that I can never. I got them written down somewhere, some of them, but I can never remember. That's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. There's a little bit more fish. Bye.